Hey, warrior, listen to me. Right now, in this moment, I need you to be honest with yourself. When was the last time you felt truly alive? When was the last time you woke up with fire in your chest, ready to conquer the day? When did you last look in the mirror and see someone you respected? I'm not talking about the mask you wear for others. I'm talking about the person you see when you're alone, when the noise stops, when the distractions fade. That person. Do you even recognize them anymore? You feel lost. I know you do. You're scrolling, searching, consuming content, looking for something to fill the void. But here's the truth that's going to shake you awake. You're not lost because you don't know the way. You're lost because you've stopped walking. You've stopped fighting. You've surrendered to comfort, to distraction, to the path of least resistance. And every day that you choose comfort over growth, every day you choose distraction over discipline, every day you choose to hide instead of fight, you drift further from the warrior you were meant to be. Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man in the world, sitting alone in his tent on the battlefield, wrote these words, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. The Emperor of Rome, commanding legions, controlling nations, and what does he write about? Control. Not control over the world, control over himself. Because he understood what most people never will. The only battle that matters is the one inside you. But look around. Look at the modern world. People are drowning in comfort and calling it success. They're slaves to their phones, their notifications, their feeds, their dopamine hits. They wake up and immediately reach for distraction. They eat whatever tastes good, not what serves them. They avoid difficult conversations. They run from hard work. They medicate their pain with entertainment, their emptiness with consumption, their fear with noise. They've traded their inner fire for a warm blanket. And they wonder why they feel dead inside. You know what I'm talking about. You feel it. That heaviness, that numbness, that voice that whispers, "Is this all there is?" That growing sense that you're wasting your life. That time is slipping through your fingers while you watch from the sidelines. That creeping realization that you've become soft, that you've lost your edge, that somewhere along the way you stopped being a warrior and became a spectator. But here's what they don't tell you. Here's the truth that cuts through all the noise. That fire inside you. It's not gone, it's buried. It's suffocating under layers of excuses, distractions, and fear. But it's still there. I can feel it. That's why you're here. That's why you clicked on this video. Because some part of you, deep down, refuses to surrender. Some part of you is tired of being weak. Some part of you remembers what it feels like to be strong. And today, right now, that changes. Today, you stop drifting. Today, you start fighting. Today, you reignite that fire. This message is not for everyone. Let me be clear about that. This is not for people who are looking for comfort. This is not for people who want someone to tell them it's okay to be weak. This is not for people who are waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, the perfect feeling. Those people can keep scrolling. Those people can keep sleeping. This message is for the few, the ones who are tired of their own excuses, the ones who look in the mirror and see wasted potential, the ones who know they're capable of more but have been lying to themselves, the ones who feel that fire, however small, still burning somewhere inside, the ones who are ready to stop talking and start walking, the ones who are ready to reclaim their power, their discipline, their purpose. If that's you, if that fire still burns inside you, even if it's just a spark, then stay with me, because in this video, I'm going to share with you the ancient Stoic laws that the greatest warriors, philosophers, and leaders used to forge themselves into weapons of focus, discipline, and unshakable strength. These aren't theories. These aren't nice ideas. These are laws. And when you apply them, when you truly commit to them, everything changes. Number 1, the law of chosen suffering. Listen carefully. Pain is coming either way. Struggle is coming either way. Difficulty is coming either way. The question is not whether you'll suffer. The question is whether you choose your suffering, or whether you let life choose it for you. Every morning, you have a choice. You can choose the pain of discipline, or you will experience the pain of regret. You can choose the discomfort of the early alarm, or you'll feel the discomfort of wasted days. You can choose the burn of the workout, or you'll feel the weight of a weak body. You can choose the difficulty of honest work, or you'll taste the bitterness of unfulfilled potential. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't avoid pain. They chose it. They welcomed it. They used it. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of your suffering isn't real. It's the suffering you create by avoiding the real suffering. It's the anxiety of avoiding the hard conversation. It's the dread of putting off the difficult work. It's the shame of knowing you're not living up to your potential. That suffering is worse than any workout, any discipline, any chosen hardship could ever be. But modern life has taught you to avoid all discomfort. Your phone keeps you comfortable. Your food keeps you comfortable. Your entertainment keeps you comfortable. Your excuses keep you comfortable. And comfort is killing you. Comfort is the slow death. Comfort is the enemy of growth. Every time you choose comfort over discipline, you reinforce weakness. Every time you hit snooze, every time you skip the workout, every time you take the easy path, you're training yourself to be soft. And soft people break when life gets hard. The warrior chooses suffering. The warrior wakes up early even when it's painful. The warrior trains even when tired. The warrior has the hard conversation even when anxious. The warrior does the work even when unmotivated. Because the warrior understands that chosen suffering builds strength, while avoided suffering builds weakness. Right now, today, you make a choice. You either start choosing your suffering, or you accept the suffering of regret. You either embrace the discomfort that builds you, or you sink into the comfort that destroys you. There is no middle ground. Nature doesn't allow it. Life doesn't allow it. The Stoics knew this. Now you know it too. Type this below if you understand. I choose the pain of discipline over the pain of regret. Write it. Commit to it. Make it real. Number 2, the law of response control. Here's a truth that will set you free. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. This is not a nice idea. This is the foundation of all Stoic power. This is the difference between a victim and a warrior. Epictetus, who was born a slave, who experienced more hardship than most people can imagine, taught this. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. A slave teaching emperors about freedom. Why? Because he understood true freedom. True freedom is not the absence of obstacles. True freedom is the power to choose your response regardless of the obstacle. But look at the modern world. People are controlled by everything external. Someone says something rude. they're angry for hours. They check their phone and see bad news, their day is ruined. Traffic makes them late. They lose their composure. Someone doesn't text back. They spiral into anxiety. They've given away all their power. They've made themselves slaves to circumstances, to other people's opinions, to external events. The Stoic sees it differently. Someone insults you, that's their action. Your response is yours. Your boss treats you unfairly, that's their character. Your response reveals yours. You face unexpected difficulty, that's life. Your response is your power. You lose something you valued, that's change. Your response is your choice. This is not about suppressing emotions. This is not about pretending nothing bothers you. This is about recognizing where your power actually lives. Your power lives in the space between stimulus and response. That space is your kingdom. That space is where you prove who you are. The amateur reacts instantly, emotionally, without thought. The Stoic warrior pauses, observes, and chooses. Right now, think about your life. How many times today did you give away your power? How many times did you let external events control your internal state? How many times did you react without thinking, respond without choosing, surrender your peace to something outside your control? Every time you do that, you weaken yourself. Every time you reclaim that power, you strengthen yourself. Practice this today. When something happens that would normally trigger you, pause, just for a moment. Breathe. Observe the situation. Observe your immediate reaction. And then choose your response consciously. Choose it like a warrior choosing a weapon. Choose it with awareness, with purpose, with strength. That pause, that choice, that's where you reclaim your power. That's where you stop being a slave to circumstances and become a master of yourself. The world will test you. Life will test you. People will test you. They will push your buttons. They will create obstacles. They will disappoint you. That's guaranteed. Your reaction is not. Your response is yours. Own it. Control it. Master it. That's the law. Comment this truth. I control my response, not my circumstances. That's my power. Let the world see your commitment. Number 3. The law of present focus. You're destroying yourself with time that doesn't exist. You're living everywhere except where you actually are. You're trapped in the past that you cannot change, or you're anxious about a future that hasn't happened. And meanwhile, the only moment that's real, the only moment where you have power, the only moment where life actually exists, is slipping away unnoticed. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, confine yourself to the present, not as a spiritual platitude, as a practical command, as a law of effectiveness, because he understood that all power exists in the present moment. All action happens now. All choice happens now. All growth happens now. The past is a memory. The future is imagination. Now is reality. But you're scattered. Your mind is in 10 different places. You're working on something while thinking about something else. You're with someone while mentally somewhere else. You're doing one thing while worrying about another. You're never fully here, never fully present, never fully alive. And that fragmentation is costing you everything. When you're scattered, you're weak. When you're divided, you're powerless. When your attention is split across a dozen distractions, you cannot bring your full force to anything. You cannot work with intensity. You cannot connect with depth. You cannot think with clarity. You cannot live with presence. You exist in a fog of half attention, half effort, half living. The warrior brings all of themselves to this moment. When the warrior trains, every fiber is focused on the training. When the warrior works, every thought is on the work. When the warrior rests, they rest completely. When the warrior fights, there is nothing else but the fight. Total presence, total focus, total commitment to what is happening right now. Think about your day. How many hours did you actually spend fully present? How many moments did you experience without your mind wandering to what's next, what's missing, what could go wrong? How many tasks did you complete with your full attention? Be honest. The answer reveals why you feel scattered, why you feel unproductive, why you feel like you're constantly busy but never making real progress. Your phone is training you to fragment. Social media is training you to scatter. The modern world is designed to divide your attention into 1,000 pieces and sell each piece to the highest bidder. Every notification is stealing your presence. Every scroll is stealing your focus. Every distraction is stealing your power, and you're letting it happen. Today, right now, you reclaim your attention. You bring yourself back to this moment. You practice presence like a warrior practices combat. When you eat, you eat. When you work, you work. When you train, you train. When you're with someone, you're fully with them. No phone, no distraction, no mental escape. Just presence. Just focus. Just now. The Stoics practiced this daily. They called it attention. They trained it. They valued it above almost everything else, because they knew that the quality of your attention determines the quality of your life. Poor attention equals poor life. Scattered attention equals scattered results. Divided focus equals divided power. Start small. Choose one task today, just one, and complete it with total presence. Turn off notifications. Close unnecessary tabs. Put your phone in another room. Bring every ounce of your focus to that one task. Notice how different it feels. Notice how much more you accomplish. Notice how much more alive you feel. That's the power of presence. That's the law of focus. Write this commitment below. I am here now, fully present. This moment is my power. Make it your mantra. Number 4. The law of voluntary discomfort. You've made life too easy, and it's making you weak. You've optimized for comfort, and you're paying the price in strength. You've removed all the edges from your life, and now you have no edge yourself. The Stoics knew something you've forgotten. Comfort breeds weakness. Discomfort breeds strength. Seneca would deliberately practice poverty. He would sleep on hard surfaces, eat simple food, wear rough clothing, not because he had to, because he chose to. He wrote, "Set aside a certain number of days, during which you shall be content with the scantiest and cheapest fare, with coarse and rough dress, saying to yourself the while, 'Is this the condition that I feared?'" He was training himself, preparing himself, strengthening himself against hardship. But you've done the opposite. You've made everything soft. Your bed is too comfortable. Your food is too easy. Your entertainment is too accessible. Your life is too convenient. You press a button and food appears. You feel bored and entertainment appears. You feel uncomfortable and distraction appears. You've built a life with no resistance, and now you have no resilience. The warrior seeks discomfort. The warrior takes the cold shower. The warrior trains when tired. The warrior fasts occasionally. The warrior sits with silence. The warrior does hard things for no reason other than to prove they can, not because they enjoy suffering, because they understand that voluntary hardship builds the strength required for involuntary hardship. Life will bring discomfort. Loss will come. Pain will come. Difficulty will come. The question is, Will you be ready? Will you be strong enough? Will you have built the resilience required to endure what's coming? Or will you break the first time life gets hard because you've spent years making everything easy? Look at your daily routine. Where have you chosen comfort over growth? Where have you taken the easy path? Where have you optimized for pleasure instead of strength? Your morning routine? Too comfortable. Your diet? Too indulgent. Your schedule? Too easy. Your challenges? Too safe. You've built a life that feels good but makes you weak. The Stoics called this training. They would practice poverty to prepare for poverty. They would imagine loss to prepare for loss. They would voluntarily experience discomfort to build armor against involuntary discomfort. They didn't wait for life to test them. They tested themselves. They forged themselves in chosen hardship so that unchosen hardship couldn't break them. Right now, add friction to your life. Start taking cold showers. Wake up earlier than necessary. Fast once a week. Train harder than comfortable. Sit in silence for 10 minutes daily. Do something difficult every single day for no reason other than to prove you can. Make your life harder on purpose. Choose discomfort. Seek it. Welcome it. Use it. Because here's what happens. Every time you choose discomfort, you send a message to yourself. You tell yourself, I can handle hard things. I am not weak. I am not fragile. I am strong enough to endure. And that message, repeated daily through voluntary hardship, builds unshakable confidence. Not the fake confidence that comes from affirmations. The real confidence that comes from proof. When you've sat in a freezing cold shower, a difficult conversation doesn't seem so scary. When you've trained your body to exhaustion, a long workday doesn't seem so hard. When you've practiced discomfort voluntarily, involuntary discomfort doesn't break you. You've already proven you can handle it. You've already built the strength. You've already forged the resilience. This is not about being miserable. This is about being prepared. This is not about hating comfort. This is about not being dependent on it. This is not about suffering for suffering's sake. This is about building the strength that suffering creates. The warrior doesn't seek pain, but the warrior doesn't run from it either. The warrior uses it, shapes it, transforms it into power. Type this declaration: I seek discomfort because it builds strength. I am not afraid of hard. Let your commitment be known. Number 5. The law of emotional mastery. Your emotions do not control you. Read that again. Your emotions do not control you. You're not your anger. You're not your anxiety. You are not your fear. You are the awareness that observes those emotions. You are the consciousness that can choose how to respond to those emotions. This distinction changes everything. Epictetus taught, any person capable of angering you becomes your master. He can anger you only when you permit yourself to be disturbed by him. Think about the power in those words. No one can make you angry. They can do something. They can say something. But your anger, that's yours. That's your creation. That's your response. And if you created it, you can control it. But society teaches you the opposite. Society tells you that emotions just happen to you, that you're a victim of your feelings, that when you're angry, it's because someone made you angry. When you're sad, it's because something made you sad. When you're anxious, it's because life made you anxious. Lies, all lies, comfortable lies that keep you weak. Your emotions are information. They're signals. They're data. But they are not commands. When you feel angry, that's information about what you value and how you perceive a situation. It's not a command to act angry. When you feel afraid, that's information about perceived threat. It's not a command to run or freeze. When you feel anxious, that's information about uncertainty. It's not a command to spiral. The amateur is controlled by emotions. The amateur feels angry and becomes angry, feels sad and becomes sad, feels anxious and becomes anxious. There's no space between the feeling and the behavior. It's automatic. It's reactive. It's weak. The warrior feels the emotion, observes it, understands it, and then chooses the response. That space between feeling and response is where all power lives. Right now, you need to understand something crucial. You cannot always control what you feel. Emotions arise automatically based on your biology, your past, your current state. But you can always control what you do with those emotions. You can always control whether you express them, suppress them, transform them, or simply observe them. That control is everything. Think about the last time you were really angry. What happened? Did you explode? Did you say things you regret? Did you act in ways that served no purpose except to release the pressure? Or did you pause, breathe, observe the anger, and choose a response that served you? Be honest. Most people are slaves to their emotions. Most people surrender all control the moment feelings arise. The Stoics practiced emotional awareness daily. They would observe their emotions like scientists studying phenomena. I notice I'm feeling anger. Interesting. What triggered this? What am I perceiving? What can I learn here? They created space. They brought consciousness to what is usually unconscious. They took back control. Practice this today. When an emotion arises, strong emotion, don't immediately act on it. Stop. Breathe. Name it. This is anger. This is fear. This is anxiety. Just naming it creates distance, creates space, creates the possibility of choice. Then ask yourself, is this emotion serving me right now? Is acting on this emotion going to move me toward my goals or away from them? What would the wise version of me do in this moment? That simple practice, repeated daily, will transform your life. You'll stop being a slave to every feeling. You'll stop making decisions based on temporary emotional states. You'll stop sabotaging yourself because you couldn't control your reactions. You'll become the master instead of the servant. You'll become the warrior instead of the victim. Marcus Aurelius, dealing with betrayal, loss, war, and the weight of empire, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." He wasn't just philosophizing. He was practicing. He was applying this law daily. He felt grief when his children died. He felt anger when his generals disappointed him. He felt fear when Rome was threatened. But he didn't let those emotions control his decisions. He observed them. He acknowledged them. He made space for them. And then he acted with wisdom regardless of what he felt. That's mastery, not the absence of emotion, the conscious relationship with emotion, not suppression, observation, not denial, integration. You feel everything, but you're controlled by nothing. That's the law. That's the power. That's the path. Declare this truth in the comments. I feel my emotions, but they don't control me. I am the master. Own it. Number 6, the law of memento mori. You're going to die. Not someday, not eventually, not in some distant abstract future. Soon, sooner than you think, sooner than you're comfortable admitting. Every day that passes is a day you'll never get back. Every moment you waste is gone forever. Every hour you spend in distraction is an hour of your life you've chosen to throw away. The Stoics meditated on death daily, not because they were morbid, because they understood that death awareness creates life intensity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Imagine living like that. Imagine if every morning you woke up with the genuine awareness that this could be your last day. Would you scroll mindlessly? Would you waste hours on nothing? Would you avoid the hard conversations? Would you put off your dreams? Would you live in fear? Or would you act with urgency, with purpose, with courage? But you're living like you have infinite time. You're living like death is something that happens to other people. You're living like you can always start tomorrow, always change next week, always pursue your purpose next year. And that delusion is killing your potential. That lie is allowing you to waste the most valuable resource you have, time. Every philosopher, every warrior, every great person who ever lived understood this. Time is the only real currency. Money can be earned again. Relationships can be rebuilt. Opportunities can be recreated. But time moves in one direction. Time never returns. Time never waits. Every second that passes is a second of your life that's gone forever, and you're spending most of your seconds on things that don't matter. Think about yesterday. How many hours of yesterday would you delete if you could? How many hours did you spend doing things that served no purpose, moved you toward no goal, created no value, brought no joy? Be honest. Most of your life is spent in maintenance mode, autopilot, going through motions, killing time. And when you kill time, you kill life. The Stoics didn't fear death. They used death. They used the awareness of mortality as fuel for living. Seneca wrote, "Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end of life. Let us postpone nothing. Let us balance life's books each day." The one who puts the finishing touches on their life each day is never short of time. Every day, a complete life. Every day, lived fully. Every day, spent with the awareness that it might be the last. This is not about being depressed. This is not about walking around in morbid fear. This is about waking up. This is about snapping out of the trance. This is about recognizing that you don't have time to waste. You don't have time to live small. You don't have time to play it safe. You don't have time to postpone your purpose. You don't have time to wait for perfect conditions. You have now. That's all you have. That's all you've ever had. That's all you'll ever have. Right now, imagine you have 1 year left. Just 1 year. How would you live it? What would you change? What would you stop doing? What would you start doing? Who would you become? What conversations would you have? What work would you do? What fears would you face? Write it down. Not someday, right now. Write down what you would do with 1 year left, and then realize something powerful. You might have 1 year left. You might have less. You have no idea. None of us do. So why are you living like you have forever? Why are you postponing? Why are you waiting? Why are you holding back? The warrior lives like every day might be the last, because it might be. And that awareness doesn't create fear. It creates focus. It creates urgency. It creates action. Every morning, the Stoics would meditate on death. They would remind themselves, I might not see sunset today. This might be it. And that reminder would strip away all the bullshit, all the petty concerns, all the ego, all the fear. What remains when you face mortality? What matters when time is short? Purpose matters. Love matters. Truth matters. Growth matters. The rest is noise. You're wasting your life worrying about what people think. Death doesn't care what people think. You're wasting your life chasing comfort. Death doesn't care about comfort. You're wasting your life accumulating things. Death doesn't care about things. You're wasting your life avoiding fear. Death doesn't care about fear. Death strips everything down to what's real, what's true, what matters. So stop living like you have infinite time. Stop postponing your purpose. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop holding back your gifts. Stop playing small. Stop living in fear. Stop wasting days. This is it. This is your life. This is your time. And it's running out whether you acknowledge it or not. The warrior embraces memento mori. The warrior uses death as a teacher. The warrior lets mortality create urgency. The warrior lives each day as a complete life. The warrior wastes nothing because the warrior knows that time is the most sacred resource. The warrior acts now because the warrior knows that later might not come. Comment this powerful truth. I remember that I will die, so I choose to truly live. Let death fuel your life. Number 7. The law of internal validation. You're addicted to external approval, and it's destroying your soul. You're constantly scanning for validation, measuring yourself against others, adjusting your path based on what other people think. You're living their life, not yours. You're pursuing their dreams, not yours. You're becoming their version of success, not yours. And in the process, you're losing yourself completely. Epictetus taught, if you wish to be a writer, write. If you wish to be a philosopher, philosophize. Do not concern yourself with what others will think. That is their business, not yours. Simple, direct, liberating. Your path is yours. Your purpose is yours. Your validation comes from within, or it's not real. But modern life has amplified external validation to insane levels. Social media has turned everyone into validation junkies. Likes, comments, followers, views. Every post is a desperate plea for approval. Every picture is a carefully crafted image designed to impress. Every story is a highlight reel meant to trigger envy. And beneath it all is a terrified person asking, am I enough? Do you approve? Do you accept me? Pathetic. You're waiting for permission to be yourself. You're waiting for approval to pursue your purpose. You're waiting for validation to trust your path. And you'll wait forever. Because external validation is infinite regression. No amount is ever enough. You get the approval you seek, and immediately you need more. You achieve the milestone that was supposed to make you feel worthy, and immediately you feel empty again. Because external validation can never fill an internal void. The warrior seeks no approval. The warrior knows their path and walks it regardless of what others think. The warrior does the work for the work's sake, not for applause. The warrior lives by their own standards, not society's standards. The warrior measures themselves against their own potential, not against others' achievements. The warrior is internally validated, and therefore unshakable. Think about your choices. How many of them are actually yours? How many are based on what your parents think you should do? What your friends think is impressive? What society thinks is valuable? What strangers online might approve of? Be honest. Most people are living someone else's life. Most people are pursuing someone else's dream. Most people are becoming someone else's version of success. And then they wonder why they feel empty. Right now, you need to answer a hard question. What would you do if no one was watching? What would you pursue if there was no social media to document it? What path would you take if there was no one to impress? What life would you build if you knew that no one would ever congratulate you, never approve of you, never validate you? That answer, that's your real path. That's your truth. That's what you should be doing. The Stoics lived this law absolutely. Marcus Aurelius, the emperor, could have built monuments to himself, could have demanded praise, could have surrounded himself with people telling him how great he was. Instead, he wrote in his private journal, "What does it matter what others think of you? They have no power over your mind, your character, your purpose." He validated himself through his own standards, his own principles, his own actions. Start practicing internal validation today. After you complete something, before you tell anyone, before you post it, before you seek feedback, sit with it yourself. Ask yourself, am I proud of this? Did I do my best? Does this align with my values? Does this move me toward my purpose? If the answer is yes, that's enough. That's all the validation you need. If the answer is no, fix it. Not because others might judge you, because you judge yourself. Stop living for likes. Stop performing for approval. Stop adjusting your authentic self to fit what others expect. Stop hiding your truth to avoid judgment. Stop playing small to avoid criticism. Stop betraying yourself to gain acceptance. The cost is too high. You lose yourself. You lose your path. You lose your power. The warrior understands that the only opinion that matters is the one looking back from the mirror. The warrior understands that external praise is empty if internal integrity is missing. The warrior understands that approval from others means nothing if you've betrayed yourself to get it. The warrior would rather walk alone on the right path than be celebrated on the wrong one. This doesn't mean you ignore all feedback. This doesn't mean you become arrogant. This means you choose whose opinion actually matters. Your mentor who has walked the path. Their opinion matters. Your teacher who has the expertise. Their opinion matters. Random people on the internet who know nothing about you or your journey. Their opinion is irrelevant. Learn to distinguish between valuable feedback and noise, between genuine wisdom and projection, between truth and opinion. You will be criticized. That's guaranteed. You will be judged. That's certain. You will be misunderstood. That's inevitable. The question is, will you let that stop you? Will you let the fear of judgment keep you small? Will you let the desire for approval keep you from your truth? Or will you walk your path regardless, knowing that your validation comes from within? The Stoics called this autarkeia, self-sufficiency, the ability to be complete within yourself, to need nothing from others except what genuinely serves your growth. Not praise, not approval, not validation. You give those things to yourself by living according to your principles, by walking your path with integrity, by measuring yourself against your own standards. Write this declaration of independence. My path is mine. My validation is internal. I need no approval but my own. Claim your sovereignty. Number 8, the law of relentless consistency. You're motivated today. Tomorrow? Who knows? You're inspired right now. Next week? Maybe not. You start strong. You fade fast. You make promises to yourself. You break them. You set goals. You abandon them. You talk about discipline. You demonstrate chaos. And you wonder why your life isn't changing. It's not changing because you're not consistent. And without consistency, nothing transforms. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." But this only works if you keep moving. If you act once and stop, the obstacle wins. If you push once and quit, resistance wins. If you start once and fade, entropy wins. The power is not in the single action. The power is in the relentless repetition, the unstoppable consistency, the daily commitment regardless of feeling, circumstance, or result. But you're a creature of emotion. You act when you feel like it. You work when you're motivated. You train when you're inspired. And when the feeling fades, which it always does, you stop. You wait for motivation to return. You wait for inspiration to strike. You wait for the perfect conditions. And meanwhile, weeks pass, months pass, years pass, and you're still waiting, still stuck, still the same person you were before. The warrior doesn't wait for motivation. The warrior acts regardless of motivation. The warrior has a code, a routine, a system, and the warrior follows it whether they feel like it or not. Every single day. No excuses, no negotiations, no exceptions. The warrior trains every day, works every day, improves every day. Not because it feels good, because it's what warriors do. Think about your life. What have you actually been consistent with? What have you done every single day for the last year, for the last month, for the last week? Be brutally honest. Most people are consistently inconsistent. They start strong, they fade, they start again, they fade again. They talk about change. They demonstrate stagnation. They want transformation. They practice mediocrity. Here's the truth that will change your life if you let it. Small actions repeated daily create massive results over time. One workout doesn't transform your body. One workout daily for a year transforms everything. 1 hour of focused work doesn't build a business. 1 hour daily for a year builds an empire. 1 day of discipline doesn't change your character. 1 day of discipline repeated for a year forges an entirely new person. But you're looking for the magic bullet, the hack, the shortcut, the secret, and there is no secret. There is only consistency. There is only showing up. There is only doing the work. There is only repetition, day after day after day. When you're tired, when you don't feel like it, when results aren't visible, when no one is watching, when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's lonely, that's when consistency matters most. The Stoics understood this deeply. They didn't practice philosophy once, they practiced it daily. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations every single day, not when inspired, every day. Seneca wrote his letters consistently, not when convenient, consistently. Epictetus taught his students daily, not when motivated, daily. They knew that transformation doesn't come from intensity. It comes from consistency. Right now, you need to make a decision. You need to choose one thing, just one thing, that you'll do every single day for the next year. Not when you feel like it, every single day, no matter what. This is your non-negotiable. This is your foundation. This is your proof to yourself that you can be consistent. Choose it now. Write it down. Commit to it. Maybe it's training for 30 minutes. Maybe it's reading for 20 minutes. Maybe it's writing for 15 minutes. Maybe it's meditation for 10 minutes. Maybe it's studying for an hour. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it every single day. No excuses, no skipped days, no negotiations with yourself, just action, repeated, relentlessly. And watch what happens. At first, nothing. You'll do it for a week and feel exactly the same. You'll do it for a month and barely notice any difference. Your ego will tell you it's not working. Your mind will offer reasons to quit. Your feelings will beg for a break. Ignore all of it. Keep going, because the transformation is happening beneath the surface. The compound effect is building. The person you're becoming is being forged in the repetition. After 3 months, you'll notice something. You'll feel different, stronger, more capable, more disciplined. Your confidence will have grown because you've proven to yourself that you can commit and follow through. After 6 months, others will notice. They'll ask what you're doing differently. They'll comment on the change. After a year, you'll be unrecognizable, not because of one big thing, because of one small thing done 1,000 times. The warrior doesn't look for motivation. The warrior builds systems. The warrior creates routines. The warrior establishes non-negotiables. And then the warrior follows them with absolute consistency. Whether tired or energized, whether motivated or not, whether feeling it or not, the warrior shows up. The warrior does the work. The warrior keeps the promise made to self. That's integrity, that's discipline, that's power, not the flashy moment of inspiration, the quiet, relentless, unsexy consistency that no one sees, the daily work that builds empires while others are still looking for shortcuts, the boring repetition that creates extraordinary results while others are still searching for secrets. Commit to this law publicly. I show up every single day. My consistency is my power. Let the world know you're building something real. You've heard these laws. You've felt their weight. You've recognized their truth. Now comes the only question that matters. What are you going to do? Because understanding changes nothing. Knowledge changes nothing. Awareness changes nothing. Only action changes things. Only commitment transforms. Only consistent application creates results. Right now, in this moment, you're at a crossroads. You can close this video and go back to sleep. Back to the comfort. Back to the distractions. Back to the slow death of a life half lived. Back to the same patterns that got you here. Back to the same excuses, the same fears, the same weakness. You can pretend that watching this video is enough. That understanding these laws is enough. That feeling inspired for a moment is enough. But you know it's not. Deep down, you know that nothing changes unless you change. Or you can choose differently. Right now, this moment, you can decide that today is the day you stop talking and start walking. Today is the day you stop waiting and start acting. Today is the day you stop being the person you've been and start becoming the person you need to be. You can choose to take these ancient Stoic laws and forge them into your daily practice, to transform philosophy into action, to turn wisdom into power. The Stoics didn't just think about these principles, they lived them. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire with these laws as his foundation. Seneca faced exile and death with these truths as his armor. Epictetus went from slave to teacher of emperors with these practices as his path. These are not theories. These are not ideas. These are battle-tested, life-proven laws that have guided humanity's greatest minds through humanity's greatest challenges. And now they're yours. Every law I've shared today, you now possess. The law of chosen suffering, the law of response control, the law of present focus, the law of voluntary discomfort, the law of emotional mastery, the law of memento mori, the law of internal validation, the law of relentless consistency. 8 laws, 8 paths to power, 8 ways to reclaim your life from mediocrity and forge yourself into something unbreakable. But possession means nothing without application. Having a sword doesn't make you a warrior. Knowing how to use it does. You now have the sword. The question is, will you train? Will you practice? Will you swing it daily until you master it? Or will you hang it on the wall and admire it while life continues to defeat you? Let me tell you what's going to happen if you apply these laws. You're going to start choosing your suffering, which means you're going to start building strength instead of weakness. You're going to start controlling your responses, which means you're going to stop being a slave to circumstances. You're going to start living in the present, which means you're going to start experiencing life instead of missing it. You're going to start seeking discomfort, which means you're going to start building resilience. You're going to start mastering your emotions, which means you're going to start making wise decisions. You're going to start remembering your mortality, which means you're going to start living with urgency. You're going to start validating yourself internally, which means you're going to start walking your true path. You're going to start practicing relentless consistency, which means you're going to start seeing real transformation. And as these laws compound, as these practices stack, as these principles integrate into your daily life, something remarkable will happen. You'll stop feeling lost. That feeling you have right now, that confusion, that disconnection, that sense that you're drifting, that will dissolve. Because you'll have direction, you'll have purpose, you'll have discipline, you'll have control, you'll have power. Not power over others, power over yourself. And that's the only power that matters. You'll look in the mirror and recognize yourself again. You'll see the warrior you were meant to be. You'll see someone who has stopped running and started fighting. Someone who has stopped avoiding and started facing. Someone who has stopped drifting and started directing. Someone who has reignited that inner fire and is using it to forge themselves into something unbreakable. But this doesn't happen automatically. This doesn't happen because you watched a video. This doesn't happen because you feel inspired right now. This happens because you make a decision. Right now, in this moment, a decision that you're going to walk this path, a decision that you're going to apply these laws, a decision that you're done with weakness and ready for strength, a decision that changes everything. The Stoics believed that the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago, and the second best time is now. You can't change the past. You can't recover the years you've wasted. You can't undo the opportunities you've missed. But you can start now. You can plant the tree now. You can begin the transformation now. You can take the first step now. And if you do, if you truly commit, 20 years from now, you won't be looking back with regret. You'll be standing in the shade of the tree you planted today. Memento mori, my friend. Remember that you will die. Your time is limited. Your days are numbered. Your opportunities are finite. Every moment you postpone is a moment you'll never get back. Every day you delay is a day closer to the end. You don't have time to waste. You don't have time to wait for perfect conditions. You don't have time to be afraid. You have time to act. You have time to begin. You have time to choose. That's all you have. That's all you need. So here's what I want you to do right now. Not later. Not tomorrow. Right now. I want you to go to the comments and write down one specific action you're going to take today. Not a vague intention, not a general goal. One specific, concrete action that applies one of these Stoic laws. Maybe it's, I'm going to take a cold shower when I finish this video. Maybe it's, I'm going to turn off my phone for the next hour and focus completely on my work. Maybe it's, I'm going to have that difficult conversation I've been avoiding. Maybe it's, I'm going to train even though I'm tired. Whatever it is, write it down. Make it public. Make it real. Make it a commitment. and then do it. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the feeling. Just do it. Take that one action. Prove to yourself that you're serious. Prove to yourself that this time is different. Prove to yourself that you're done being weak and ready to be strong. That one action completed will change something inside you. It will create momentum. It will build belief. It will prove that you can do hard things. And that proof is worth more than 1,000 inspirational videos. Then tomorrow, do it again. And the day after that. And the day after that. Build the consistency. Follow the law. Keep the promise to yourself. Day by day, action by action, choice by choice, forge yourself into the person you were meant to be. The warrior who chooses suffering. The warrior who controls their response. The warrior who lives in the present. The warrior who seeks discomfort. The warrior who masters their emotions. The warrior who remembers death. The warrior who validates themselves. The warrior who practices relentless consistency. That warrior is inside you right now, buried, suffocating, waiting for you to stop making excuses, waiting for you to stop being afraid, waiting for you to make the choice, waiting for you to reignite that fire. And when you do, when you finally choose to fight instead of drift, when you finally choose to reclaim your power instead of surrendering it, that warrior will rise, and nothing will be able to stop you. If this message resonated with you, if you felt that fire stir inside, I need you to do 3 things. First, hit that like button. Not for me, for you. That act of liking is your first commitment, your first action, your first step on this path. Second, subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications, because this is not a one-time message. This is a way of life, and you'll need consistent reminders, consistent wisdom, consistent fuel to keep walking this path. Third, share this video with someone who needs to hear it, someone who's lost, someone who's drifting, someone who needs to remember their power. Be the spark that ignites their fire. And then, go live these laws, not perfectly. Perfectly doesn't exist, but consistently, daily, relentlessly. Take these ancient Stoic principles and forge them into modern practice. Transform philosophy into action. Turn wisdom into power. Walk the path of the warrior. And never, ever stop fighting. The fire is waiting. The warrior is waiting. Your true life is waiting. All you have to do is choose. Choose now. Choose today. Choose this moment. Reignite that inner fire and let it burn away everything that's been holding you back. Let it illuminate your path. Let it forge you into steel. Welcome back, warrior. Now, let's walk.